Should be coming. There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Talk CFL podcast, episode number 613. I'm your host, Christopher Jones, coming to you live from Merritt, British Columbia. With me tonight, we have the panel of Rick McDonald. How you doing, Rick? He's from down in Abbotsford, British Columbia, but he's a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan. That never made sense to me. But hey, Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Glad to be back. Sorry I've missed a few weeks. Been out exploring the wilds of British Columbia.
There you go. Do you find any lions? Ha ha. Sorry.
Did not.
Did not. Okay. Saw a bear today. So does that count?
Yeah, I saw a couple of those today myself.
There you go. And down elsewhere in the country, from Calgary, Alberta, currently vacationing, and the word is vacationing, in Panorama, British Columbia, we got Will McDonald, Rick's brother. How you doing, William?
I am good. Speaking of bears, I bought a bear bell today. What do you think?
Yeah, you know the thing about bears or bells? You know the difference in bear scat?
No.
The difference in bear scat, black bear scat has berries and twigs and sticks and stuff like that in it. Grizzly bear has bells and cell phones.
Cool. It smells like pepper.
Yeah. I was just out just before the podcast and I saw a rack of bear bells and I realized that I got a yellow one, but they had a red one. I'm going to get that and bring it to Stampeder games.
I don't know why you got a yellow one. That didn't make sense.
I like yellow.
So you're a closet Edmonton Elks fan then, are you?
No, I like yellow. Edmonton is green.
Oh, got that one right, didn't it?
Edmonton is green. The closest thing to yellow in the CFL is those BC Lions because
green and gold
yellow.
From Edmonton. Green and gold, and Hamilton is black and gold.
I'm in Panorama at Horse Thief Landing. A very nice place, as you can see by my background. I see
your background.
And yeah, been a good time. But I will watch football this weekend for sure. So I'm going home on Saturday. So.
Oh, that's good. So you know what? I really appreciate you putting the time and effort to come on the podcast and do that while you're on vacation. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think we will. Oh, by the way, Charles is not here. He was at the Edmonton Elks game, BC Lions game on Sunday. And I don't think he's sobered up yet. So I think that's a problem that he's having right now. He's missed the podcast with us. He's somewhere still in Alberta, not sure where, but visiting family. Oh, what happened? There we go. My mouse did something weird. Okay, I'm going to ignore that. Okay, let's get over to Sparky's thing here, and we'll go through. So we had only three games this week. And the first one was a bit of a clusterfuck, shall we say. The game was Friday night. It was a 6:00 start on the West Coast.
7.
So it would have been a 7:00 start in Saskatchewan. I think 7, isn't it? Because they don't do daylight saving time.
Right, 7:00 in Calgary. So yes, 7.
So 7 in Calgary, which is Mountain Time, and they're Central Time, but they don't do daylight saving time because they can't figure out how to change the clocks. They're not very bright in Saskatchewan.
Right.
So it was a late game, and they had extreme weather issues or environmental issues, wildfire smoke coming down from northern Saskatchewan, and they couldn't start the game because it was above a 8 index on the index scale on smoky air. So they delayed it and delayed it and delayed it and delayed it, and the idiots delayed it for 4 hours. They were trying to start the game at 11:15 at night, which was stupid and ridiculous. And which would have been like 2 a.m. in the East Coast. So they finally postponed the game, and they started it at 1 o'clock Pacific time. The next day and Saturday. Now, a lot of people are really up in the air arms about this. Trevor Harris is bitching about it. Why is it that shitty quarterbacks always bitch about things like McLeod Bethel Thompson and Trevor Harris? And anyhow, so he has a problem with this. And it was that they tried too hard or too long to try to make the game go Friday night, that they should have called it sooner and everything else. Well, I don't disagree with him. It's important that for the health of the players and the fans, the players were all inside, but the fans were out in the smoke. So you made them sit around for 4 hours. They could have watched the entire fucking football game and it wouldn't have made a difference to them because they already did. They were already out there that long. But my point being is that everybody says, well, why don't they just call the game sooner? I think they're trying to make the game work because they had to pay for the stadium. They had to pay for the concession foods to all be made, and they're all going to get thrown out. People have paid for parking, people have traveled, everything else. And then the Calgary Stampeders then had to get hotel rooms, which I understand they actually went into the dorms of the university or somewhere. But they got 54 players. They got all of their coaching staff, all of their management staff, all of their media staff. You got all of the TSN crews are there. You got all of these people that all now have to overnight, which they may not have, right? They may have packed up and left right after the football game, gone back to Calgary, which would have made sense. So economically, it made sense to try to make the game work Friday night. Realistically and logically, or hindsight right now, it was stupid to wait 4 hours to call it. It should have been done sooner. It should have been done in a timely manner. But it's different when it's a 7 o'clock at night start or a 1 o'clock in the afternoon start. If it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we could have waited 4 or 5 hours and it wouldn't have made a difference, right? But when you're dealing with people at midnight with kids and everything else and families and coming from Saskatoon and Moose Jaw and all over the place, it was dumb to wait that long. Yes, Rick, I agree. 2 hours would have been more than sufficient to say if it wasn't ready to go by 9 o'clock at night or, that would have made it 10 o'clock at night in Saskatchewan. Call the fucking game. Nobody wants to be playing football at midnight. It's stupid. It's wrong. It's like playing football before breakfast. It's wrong too, right? I mean, the 10 o'clock start in Montreal is ridiculous. It's 7 a.m. for us guys. Yep. They tend to do that when BC goes to Montreal. They want to do a 10 o'clock in the morning start, which is ridiculous. It's like breakfast. Okay, bars aren't even open. Fuck. How can you watch a game in the bar when it's not open? I mean, even at a 1 o'clock start in Montreal, it's still 10 a.m. here and the bars aren't open yet. Well, there's some bars are, but you don't want to be in those bars. Very bad. Okay, so let's talk about the game now. This was the Calgary Stampeders went into Regina to play the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the only thing that I can describe this game as was a bitch slap. Saskatchewan did not come to play football. I don't understand what had happened. It was just absolutely terrible. Vernon Adams Jr. threw for 428 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, which is a Vernon Adams trait. He was 28 for 36. Calgary racked up 367 yards on 41 plays in the first half alone. Dominating possession. We'll talk about dominating possession when we talk about the BC game. Damian Alford caught a 21-yard touchdown and had an 81-yard reception in the second half. Rock and roll. Saskatchewan did nothing. Trevor Harris threw an 18-yard touchdown. Joe Rubistelli had 11 receptions for 191 yards and the team's only touchdown. Saskatchewan failed to score twice in the red zone, ending drives on downs, turning the ball over. They just didn't play very good football. The game was delayed. Oh, we already did that. Calgary rebounded from early turnovers with multiple scoring drives, tight defense. Saskatchewan missed key scoring chances, wasting early defensive takeaways. A long TD from Vernon Adams Jr. to Alford took Calgary in firm control in the second half. There you go. That's the synopsis that Chat GPT gave me. Now, what was your take on the game, William? Calgary Stampeder fan? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
Now, I don't know if it was on TSN or not.
Yes, it was.
Because, I kept on looking on Friday night to see where they were going to put it at, and I checked 2 o'clock a half a dozen times, and I didn't see it there. Doesn't mean anything. But I was on my way here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, so I did not watch the game, but I did watch highlights. And Calgary, they're the top defense in the CFL right now, but Trevor Harris threw for 425 yards.
No.
And
it was 1,000 yards of offense in this game.
And AJ Ouellette had 9 yards. So once again, as I've mentioned before, Calgary's whole thing, they say, is they try and make teams one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And they try and take the running game away from them, and then they have to reach back and pass. So I guess I can't complain about the yardage because they scored points and they won the game and they dominated the game. So people tell me. So I guess it was a good game. They're in first place in the West right now, currently, I do believe.
In the league.
Or tied. Yeah, in the league. So that's my take on the game.
When Trevor Harris throws for 425 yards and the team gets 1 touchdown.
Yep.
There's a lot of unfinished business left on that field.
Well, and their top receiver had 191 yards, and I've never heard of the guy.
No,
I've never heard of the guy. Who was that? Robustelli. So I don't know. They tried to get AJ Ouellette out of the backfield. He had 58 yards receiving. So yeah, I guess it was a good job by Calgary, and they won the game. I guess that's what matters in Saskatchewan. That is their second road win of the year. They didn't have any road wins last year.
They did not.
So
it's a much improved team, 100%. I mean, we were all hesitant about picking Calgary to do anything this year. They really didn't show us anything last year, and nobody had high opinion of them coming into this season. They're proving us wrong.
But it is still only week 7. So
yeah, week 7. Okay, so 548 yards total offense for Calgary, 427 total offense for Saskatchewan is 975 yards.
I would
a lot
guess
of offense and not a lot of defense.
I guess it was an entertaining game to watch.
It would have been. It would have been.
For the 18 people that were there, because it didn't look like there was a lot of people there.
It did not.
So, and that could have just been the reschedule, but
so Trevor Harris threw for 425 yards. Their total offense was 427 yards.
Right.
They had 14 yards 14 yards in team losses. They went backwards. Pretty much their entire running game was backwards.
And they did, just so you know, they did have Kadeem Carey in their lineup as well.
Yeah.
So they stopped him, and they stopped the Tommy Stevens guy. So
they had 9 rushing plays for 16 yards.
Yep.
They didn't even get 2 yards a rush.
Nope.
1.8.
Yep.
I understand abandoning the rush when that's happening. I really do. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
I don't understand it. I never understand that. Quite often the run doesn't get shut down. Teams just give up on it early. You know, like a guy like Brady, he needs multiple carries. Now you're going to stop him some of the time, but you're not going to stop him all the time. So you don't go 100% away from him. You still got to feed him the ball, and you got to keep defenses honest and keep banging away. I mean, when you talk about one dimensional, like I don't think that Saskatchewan actually has a run game, even any other game. I mean, AJ's only got 356 yards this year, and he averages around 10 carries a game. That's not a running game. You got to give the guy more carries for him to get the yards. Got to get in a groove and bang away. But I think at the beginning of this game, Calgary sure did their best to help Saskatchewan out, coughing up the ball, a fumble, an interception, couple bobbled kick returns that could have turned out badly, and Sask just couldn't do anything. Nope. Kudos to Calgary. They were stacking against themselves early in the game, and they kept it together and got the win.
Yep. Okay, so the final score on this game was 24 for Calgary, 10 for Saskatchewan, total of 34 points. William and Rick picked Calgary. The rest of us went with Saskatchewan. You guys came up with 100 points each. The point differential, Charles got 6, Will got 0, CJ got 2, Rick got 0, Sparky got 0. Everybody went high, and the game was not.
Nope.
It was a low-scoring game. Huge offense game, but low scoring. Yep. When do you put up 1,000 yards in a football game? That just doesn't happen.
Nope, not very often.
And
one or the other.
And only 34 points the entire game. I mean, I remember the game that, and it was just the anniversary just a couple days ago, where Matt Dunnigan threw for 713 yards in one game. I mean, they had 50 some odd points alone. The Bombers did. I think the other team that they played, I think it was Saskatchewan. I could be wrong. Might have been Edmonton. They had 34 points. So, I mean, it was definitely a shootout. Okay, the second game up was also on Saturday, but directly following the postponed game, rescheduled game. And this had the Hamilton Tiger Cats into Ottawa to play the Red Blacks. And, well, I'm not going to say anything bad about this game in the fact that it was very close. It went down to the wire. It was within a field goal. Kenny Lawler had 6 receptions for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Jamal Peterson had 2 interceptions and a defensive force fumble. Never mind. Wooden Jr. had 47-yard kick return, shifted the momentum. Ottawa drew Brown open with a touchdown drive, but then threw 2 interceptions. Hang on.
What are you hanging to?
Well, I did this on ChatGPT, and I asked them to give me a detailed synopsis of the game.
Yeah.
So Ottawa has a guy named Joe Rastelli that had 11 receptions for 191 yards and 1 touchdown. And ChatGPT says that Calgary's got the same guy. And he had identical stats.
You need to check these things before you bring them onto the show there, buddy.
Well, who would have thought that the AI program would fuck up like that, eh?
So just goes to show you, AI is human too.
Yep.
I wouldn't go that far. So anyhow, let's go over here for a second. Considering, no, you'd never heard of him, and he is not. He is. He's a Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
Yeah, he is, because he had all those yards in the Calgary game.
Yeah. So he is definitely a Rough Rider player. So I don't know what he's doing here in the Ottawa lineup, unless he's got a twin brother with the same name, which would be really stupid.
Yep.
So we're not going to assume that. What's going on? What's the game flow? Ottawa led for most of the game. Hamilton didn't lead until the final 2 minutes. Ottawa was winning this game all the way along, and Hamilton was always playing catch up. It was always catch up. It was always catch up. They tied it, and Ottawa went ahead, and Hamilton tied it, and Ottawa, they didn't lead till the very end of the game, and then they won. And good teams have a way of finding a way to win at the wire, because that's what they do. I mean, BC did it 2 weeks ago in Montreal. They were behind the entire game, and they had a walk-off field goal for the win. So Kenny Lawler came up with some amazing catches. It was a great game of football. I enjoyed it. It was exciting. It was entertaining. Rick, you got something to say about this game?
Well, did you see the catch he dropped?
Yes.
That's unforgivable, Kenny. Come on, buddy. Sometimes the easy ones are just hard to drag in.
I do have a question, though. Why does Tim White have a fucking job?
Well, everybody can have a bad game. He had a bad game.
He's had a bad 2 years.
Well, okay.
He couldn't catch shit last year.
Okay.
Well, another question I'm going to throw out here for Ottawa is, why not give the ball to Stanback more frequently? He was averaging almost 6 yards a carry in that game, and he only had 7 carries. Got to get that boy cranked up.
I know the answer. CFL coaches don't like to run the fucking football. It's that simple.
Could be.
Well, Bob Dice is now 3-4-15. No, 3 wins, 15 losses in his last 18 games.
And the question is, why does Bob Dice still have a job?
How long will Bob Dice have a job?
I still think he'll have it for most of the year. I really do.
I do too.
Well, it's not like there's a lot of fans out there to be complaining about what a shitty job he's doing.
Yeah. Are they going to lose the franchise in Ottawa?
But that's the scary thing, because we've lost the franchise in Ottawa twice now.
Yep.
And this that's not a good thing, because then Winnipeg goes back to the East, and no other Eastern team will ever be in the Grey Cup again. So, just saying.
It's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not a good thing. This is 4 years, and I haven't seen any improvement in Ottawa. The Red Blacks have not gotten better.
Not consistently. They have flashes of looks like they're going to do it, and then
they
you
play
know
a great
what?
game, and then they play six shitty ones.
The scariest thing is there seems to be nobody out there that's screaming, "What the hell is going on here? Like, how come they don't have a good team? How come they're not winning? How come they signed Drew Brown last year? Obviously, they stole him out of Winnipeg because they thought he was a starter, and he's better than a lot of things they've had in a long time. But
he's not a starter.
Well, I think he is, because I look at some of the other people that are starting in the CFL. I think he is a starter.
Oh, okay. That's like being the tallest midget.
Well, I know, but he's better. He's better than Trey Ford. He's better than Trey Ford by a long shot. Okay.
If Drew Brown had stayed in Winnipeg behind Zach Caleros and mentored for another 2 years, he would have started with the Blue Bombers, and he would have been amazing. Okay? Because Winnipeg is a good team. But he took very narrow-mindedly, took the bag of money right now, went to Ottawa, and it's probably going to be the death of his career.
I don't think that, but I think somebody else will take him. I don't think he's out of Ottawa anyways. He'll be in Ottawa for a couple more years. They're going to change the coaching staff first. They're going to change the coaching staff first.
You know, your pro career can be so short. You got to take the money when it's offered. You never know what tomorrow brings. It's just good business.
For that.
I don't disagree with you because, you know, I always look back at Adrian McPherson in Montreal when he was behind Anthony Calvillo, and he was better than 3/4 of the starters in the league, and he just sat behind Anthony Calvillo and never became anything.
You see,
and then finally retired to back up.
I have the key solution to every bad quarterback. You get a decent running back and you run the ball until you can't run the ball anymore. They've got Stan back there for a reason, and they got somebody else as well. I can't remember his name.
Daniel
and they should
Abba
Christopher, could you pronounce that, please?
No, I'm not.
Aboye or whatever. Yeah.
Aboye.
He ran all over Calgary the game they won in Calgary. So, and he was quite good. So yeah,
he got
I'm
3 carries
you do that.
In this game. Will 3 carries.
And hold on,
averaged 4 yards a carry.
And it will make Drew Brown better. Trust me. Just like Andrew Harris made Zach Collaros better. And
Collaros was pretty good to start with.
Well, I know he was, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it takes the pressure off, right?
Of course, the run always makes the passing game better. There's no doubt about it. Anybody who knows squat about football knows this.
Yep.
Why are we telling the offensive coordinators around the league this?
No idea.
It boggles the mind that we see this and they don't. Yeah, boggles the mind.
Even Buck Pierce didn't get it when it was important to stick with the run.
No.
Correct.
Well, and Buck Pierce is kind of like Dave Dickinson. He's a quarterback and he wants the ball and he wants to throw the fucking ball.
I mean, if you think about the Grey Cup last year.
Yep.
If they had a Ran Olivier, they wouldn't have mattered. What's his name broke his little fingers.
You mean the guy averaging 7 yards a carry during the Grey Cup? That guy?
Yeah.
Should have made him the ball a few more fucking times.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. And so I'm not gonna pump Calgary's thing, but the Vag had 428 yards, but they also had over 100 yards rushing. So I think they have a little bit of a, you know what I mean?
I do.
Thing going on.
I'm sitting here looking at Hamilton. Hamilton had a total of 19 yards rushing.
Yeah.
14 of those yards were those were carries. Those were touches. Had 19 touches the entire game between 4 people.
But you got to understand something, Christopher. You guys don't know this, but Bo Levi Mitchell, you know how Willie believes there shouldn't be kickers. Yes. Bo Levi Mitchell believes you shouldn't hand the ball off either. Okay.
Yeah, what?
He thinks all you should do is pass it on every play. So yeah, that's what you're gonna get.
No, I understand. Okay, so let's wrap this game. We'll go over to the Sparky thing. This was Ottawa 20, Hamilton 23. Won this game in the last 2 minutes. Total point score 43. We all picked Hamilton for 100 points. Charles got 8, Will got 6, CJ got 20, Rick got 18, and Sparky got 12. The final game, which I honestly can say I was disappointed with, was the BC Lions went into Edmonton and played the Elks. Now, about 2 years ago, I think it was about 2 years ago, Davis Sanchez was on the panel of TSN, and he was describing, I believe it was the BC Lions Edmonton Elks game where BC shut them out. Okay? because they had 2 shutouts in the 2023 season against the Elks. And he used the term mollywop. And which I thought was cool. It just kind of means a beatdown until I went and Googled it and found out what a mollywop was. And it has nothing to do with a beatdown. And I can't believe that David Sanchez got away with putting that live on the air. But I've also know that he hasn't used the word since. So he may have been taken to task on that. But that's exactly what you can describe this BC Lions Edmonton Elks game was a mollywop. BC had 32 points. Trey Ford had 34 yards passing. Almost 1 point per yard. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It was a terrible, terrible Edmonton offensive game. There was no offense. Where are we here?
Defense either.
What's that?
Wasn't much defense either.
Well, I don't think their defense actually played all that poorly.
No, and their
time of possession was 42 minutes for the BC Lions.
Yep.
They were gassed in the first quarter.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I don't know if Edmonton touched the ball in the first quarter. Actually, they did because BC did not score on the first drive. They turned it over on downs, I think, on the 2-yard line or something.
That is correct.
So anyhow, BC, Nathan Rourke was 26 for 30, 345 yards with 2 touchdowns. James Butler had 172 yards rushing and 1 TD. And the defense held Edmonton to just 160 net yards, including 122 passing yards, which 122 passing yards was in the last 2 minutes of the football game. Okay, the last 2 minutes of the game, after the 3-minute warning, they pulled Trey Ford and put in Cody Fajardo, and BC just kind of let them score. I can't see what else you can say. They did score 1 touchdown earlier in the game off a Nathan Rourke interception. He belted the ball off his O-lineman's helmet. It went straight up in the air. Jake Serezna caught the ball, got his first interception, proceeded to fumble it. And wasn't it Terrell Ford that picked it up and secured the ball?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I had said earlier in that game that, it's funny this whole season, Terrell Ford, who was probably one of the best defensive backs in the league last year, went over to Edmonton, and I don't remember hearing his name the entire season so far in any of the Edmonton Elk games. I don't remember hearing his name. That's usually a good thing for the D-backs because they're not fucking up. But I don't think he was even targeted. I think that all the teams are just staying away from him because the rest of the defense isn't that strong. But anyhow, Trey Ford struggled, only 34 yards passing, contained and ineffective for most of the game. Sean White kicks a 33-year-old blonde kicker down the field. Oh, God. That was BC in the first quarter. We led 3-0. Second quarter was all the Lions, except for that Cody Fajardo 1-yard rush after the interception. Like they took over the ball on the 20-yard line or something like this. It was ridiculous. How did they not score? This should have been a shutout for the BC Lions. It wasn't. The 14 points really favored, not favored. What's the word I'm looking for? Flattered. My bad. Really flattered the Elks that they got 14 points. They absolutely should not have. Okay. Done with that. It was a good game. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed watching it. It was not a good game for the Edmonton Elks. The big thing about BC Lion fans on this one is they're just screaming from the rooftops at how wonderful the team is playing and everything else. And I go, oh, you got to stay grounded. This was the Edmonton Elks. This was the lowest life form in the CFL. And you cannot get excited about a quasi win, because that's what I'm going to call it. It should have been 34-0. It was 34-14. 32-14, sorry. Yeah, you have to stay grounded on this. You can't just start shouting from the rooftops and planning the parade route, because it was only the Elks. I mean, so far this year, BC has won 3 games. 2 of them have been against the Elks, and 1 was against the Montreal Alouettes when McLeod Bethel Thompson was the quarterback and Davis Alexander was injured. I cannot, in all good consciousness, say that BC is a dominant force in this league right now. I'd love to be able to do it being a Lions fan. I can't. I just cannot. And that's why I said that they are somewhere in the power rankings we did, which we'll go over. I said they were somewhere in 5th or 6th place. But not everybody out there agrees with that one, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, Christopher, you made me look up mollywopped, because I think of it as something different, but you'd be interested to know that the Urban Dictionary and the Free Dictionary, the Free Dictionary and the Urban Dictionary both say that it's a vicious beat down or a brutal beating of your enemy. Now, of course, there is the slang meaning, but
okay.
That's what he's referring to. That's what he's referring to.
I know.
That's what he's referring to.
But in
it's a sexual act.
In the commentator's defense, in some circles, he used a correct term.
There's no way in hell Davis Alexander was meaning that in the correct term, okay?
Of course he was. Of course he was.
Yeah, it is a sexual reference.
It can be, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Glad you looked it up. I'm sure everybody else out there is doing that right now.
I had to, because I don't think I'd heard that slang reference before. My crowd of mollywop is a beating.
Yeah, well.
So, of course, I am a baby boomer, so.
We all Speaking of saying bad things on TV, Milt Stegall is coming back this coming week, which is all a good thing, because I would rather have Milt Stegall on these broadcasts than some other people.
Toothpick monster.
Milt's never worn a hoodie on a TSN broadcast, but that's just
that really bugs you, Willie?
You know what, Will?
Totally,
I absolutely do not have a problem with Davis Sanchez wearing a hoodie. I do have a problem with Davis Sanchez wearing a suit coat over top of his hoodie. That's just terrible. That's a fashion faux pas.
I'm not going to say it.
Don't do it. Okay.
I can't say it.
Okay.
I can't say it. Anyways, but so what do you think? What do you think, guys, Edmonton should do? Because this is okay. So despite playing BC, I don't think BC's that great. I don't think BC's that bad. Okay. But they obviously handed it to Edmonton. So how can you justify starting Trey Ford next week or this week, whenever they play? That's the first thing. If you say Drew Brown's not a starting quarterback in the CFL, well, Trey Ford is not, and Trey Ford's had 4 years to think about it. Okay.
Agreed.
So and Mark Killam, he's got to do something, in my opinion. He's got to do something. Because more important than anything else, they have to start getting people back in Edmonton.
They do.
And it's not going to be Trey Ford.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, if you pay attention to all the different chat boards, Let's Talk CFL and CFL Chatter, and that the secret is rename the team Eskimos and everything will be good again.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll answer your question in my opinion, William. I'm going to ask you a question. Do
Yes.
you believe the Edmonton Elks have a chance of making the playoffs this year?
No.
No, it's the CFL. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. But that being said, what are the standings? There are 2 teams with 4 wins. There's 2 teams with 3 wins. There's Edmonton with 1. They would have to be better than 2 of those 4 teams. Okay? It's not going to happen. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. Agreed? I know Rick does.
100%.
Are you going to agree with that?
Well, yeah. Okay, I'll agree with
Okay.
that. But it's the CFL. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Vernon Adams. Hold on. Vernon Adams, Nathan Rourke, could get hurt for the whole season. That means you have Jeremiah Mazzoli and a guy who's never played in the CFL.
Yeah, but
Edmonton has a chance then.
Neither of those things makes Edmonton better.
It doesn't make
Edmonton
Edmonton better.
is Trey Ford or Cody
the other teams
Fajardo.
worse.
Yeah, but it doesn't make Edmonton better, and they're that bad.
Regardless of what you think, Christopher, Cody Fajardo still won a Grey Cup.
Yes, he did.
Can I continue? Because I want to. Okay. So, you're saying that in all good consciousness right now, Edmonton Elks cannot afford to continue with Trey Ford as a starting quarterback.
No, they cannot.
I say they can't afford to go forward with Cody Fajardo as a starting quarterback. He's not the future of this team. He's not the future of this team. Okay. He's been in the league for 10 years. He's amounted to nothing. Okay. Is Trey Ford the future? Does anybody expect him to get better? I don't.
Well, but
okay.
That's the problem. That's the problem. For the last 3 years, people have been saying, put Trey Ford in, put Trey Ford in. And finally, this year, he gets to be the starter. There's nobody behind him, and he's horrible.
He's horrible. But he's always been horrible. He's never been a good quarterback.
Okay.
He's never showed good promise other than running the ball.
Right.
He's just not quite as good Chris Streveler. Okay. So my answer here is you don't start Trey Ford. You don't start Trey Ford. You don't start Cody Fajardo. You either go with your third string guy or you go find somebody else. You make a play right now for Powell. What's his name? Dustin Powell. No. They backup quarterback in Hamilton.
Oh, Matt Locker.
Taylor Powell.
Taylor Powell.
Taylor Powell. You make a play for him. Okay. Dustin Crum. You try to find some young quarterback that has potential to do something more. Trey Ford is not the answer. Cody Fajardo is not the answer. Go into the UFL right now. They've just finished their spring. Let's grab a quarterback out of there, bring him up here and play the season, okay? There's got to be somebody out of UFL right now that will come up here and play football. Somebody needs to take over the reins of the Elks. It cannot be Trey Ford. It cannot be Cody Fajardo. They're both not going to do what you need to do. You need butts in the seat. Who has faith in either one of those guys that they're going to pay money to go watch the games?
Once again, it comes down to if I had a choice, I would pick Cody Fajardo. And you know how much I like Cody Fajardo. It at least
about as much as I do.
After last week, it's obvious that Edmonton cannot win anything with Trey Ford.
They can't win anything with Cody Fajardo.
But I think they could. They have a better possibility. Sorry,
if they
he's a veteran. He's a veteran quarterback.
I
He's
don't
a
think they'll win
veteran
3 games this
quarterback
year.
in the CFL. He's a veteran quarterback in the CFL. I think they could win more with him than with Trey Ford.
Who are they going to beat?
What do you mean?
You got to show me a team that they're going to be victorious over with Cody Fajardo.
Ottawa.
Who else?
Toronto.
Perhaps Toronto. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps Toronto. Hamilton on a given day.
So they've already played Ottawa. They're going to play Ottawa one more time. They're going to play Toronto twice. So that's 4 wins if they sweep both series.
Right. Right.
Hamilton's going to wipe the floor with them. Hi, Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing wonderful. Hey,
doing?
thanks for giving up your hubby on your vacation, eh? We appreciate it.
He said thanks for giving up to their hubby on his vacation. They
That's
appreciate
okay. No problem. Goodbye.
Cheers. Okay, so their season's done. They shot their wad, and it didn't hit the target. Edmonton, the Edmonton franchise cannot afford to write off the season. They don't have a choice.
Well, but I think once again to write off their season, what are they? What's the record right now?
1-3, 1-4.
Do you remember a team that was 0-5 in the CFL one year?
They're different teams, and you know that.
And they went on to win the Grey Cup.
And I remember an Edmonton Eskimos team that was 4-14 on the season, and we all said that was the best 4-14 team ever in the history of the league, and it was because they were losing games by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Same with the BC Lions in 2011 when they went 0-5. They were a total of 27 points in deficit. That was it, 27 points.
All I'm saying is there's 48 other players on that team that cannot give up the season.
They've already lost hope.
No, I don't think they have. But that's just me.
I can't see how they wouldn't have. Rick, what do you think they should do?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
hold on, sorry, Rick. You know how hard it is to find a quarterback.
I do. But UFL right now is over. And how many teams is there? 20? 18? 14?
Have you watched UFL football?
Have you watched Trey Ford?
And you get a guy coming in here who's never played a CFL football game? It's not that easy.
Is he as bad as Trey Ford?
Well, Calgary's got their backup is a UFL guy. He was the best quarterback
PJ Walker
2 years ago. Yes, sir.
Right.
He
and
hasn't
high
been
up on him.
He hasn't. No, I'm not. He hasn't been that impressive. But he needs time. They all need time. That's why I say right now your best bet is Cody Fajardo. And bring in another veteran CFL guy who can back up Cody Fajardo.
Well, he can't do worse.
What I would do.
He can't do worse than they've been doing, right?
No, he can't. That's my thing.
You can't get worse than losing.
Yeah, I mean it's a low bar, and you were right about the BC team 0-5. That was not a bad football team. This Edmonton team is a bad football team, and I'll also agree with Will that I will tell you the majority of the players haven't given up. Mathematically, they've got a chance. They're not going to stop believing they can do it. Otherwise, you don't lace up the cleats and take the beating.
I mean, I think it does worse to that team by leaving a guy like Trey Ford in when I would bet you 80% of the team wants Trey Ford to go somewhere else. And you bring in Cody Fajardo because he seems, I don't know if his teammates like him. I kind of think his teammates don't like him, but he has the better chance than Trey Ford.
I know Cody was not well liked in Montreal, so
no, I don't think Cody's well liked anywhere. I don't like Cody either. He's an idiot. Anyways,
now and I don't give him credit for winning a Grey Cup. That one goes to Philpott for pulling in the shittiest pass I've ever seen.
No, that goes to their defense. That goes to their defense that stopped everything. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a thought and it went away. Having a senior moment. Yeah, it's a difficult thing with Edmonton right now.
Yep, it is. It's too bad.
There is no answer. There is no answer. No. We could change the name back to Eskimos and then everything will be better.
According to some fans in the chat rooms.
But isn't this an exact, almost replica, but not quite? It's almost a reverse of the Devon Claybrooks BC team, because they had a great quarterback, but everybody else was shit.
Yes.
Okay, so this could be the opposite. They got decent coaching
Edmonton's
staff.
Edmonton's not a great team.
No, but
okay. If Edmonton was a great team, I would agree with you. And Cody Fajardo can win a Grey Cup like he did in Montreal. But this is not the Montreal Alouettes from 2 years ago.
No, of course not.
It's the Edmonton Elks. And they're, what, on year 6 of a slide?
Yeah. Anyways, we should get off this and continue on. Sorry.
I'm having fun with this one. So now, what would you do? What happens to Trey Ford? Do you release him?
Like I told you yesterday, you make him running back or a receiver. or put him back as a backup and let him learn again if he's capable of learning. If he's capable of learning.
He has to have a mentor, and it's not Cody Fajardo.
So what do you, and I know you said yesterday, well, you'd love him in BC as a backup to Nathan Rourke. What if Nathan Rourke goes down? Then you're going to be in the same position Edmonton's in.
Yeah, BC's a better team than Edmonton is.
With Trey Ford, I don't think it matters what kind of team he's on.
Yeah. No, we have got 5 receivers with great hands that will take 7, 8, 10-yard passes. That's all he has to do. If Trey Ford stopped trying to do 50-yard passes all the time, he might actually be a decent quarterback. But he doesn't do that. Anyhow, yes, I would like him to back up Nathan Rourke. They have both similar styles. He doesn't have the talent. But leaving him as a starter in Edmonton's not an answer either. Absolutely not an answer. Now I looked up. I actually thought he was making starter money. He's not. You know, he's only making $270,000 a year.
Who?
Trey Ford.
Okay, they're actually paying him that much, eh?
Yeah, they're paying him $276,000 a year, and with bonuses and achievements and everything else, it could go up to $376,000. Which he's not going to get. So he's going to make $276,000. Would you pay that to him for being a receiver? No.
So by signing that contract, even Edmonton knows he's not that good.
He's the lowest paid starting quarterback in the league.
If he was a bona fide starter, he'd give him 4 or 5. You know what I mean?
Or they just thought he was stupid and would work cheap.
You know, maybe his dad's his agent. Oh, did I say that?
I didn't hear you.
I said maybe his dad's his agent. I said, oh, did I say that?
Ouch. He would make a hell of a good receiver. I mean, that Brad Sinopoli made a career out of it.
Yeah, he did.
You know? A not bad Canadian quarterback turned into an excellent Canadian slot back.
he also has a twin brother who plays D-back. I bet you could play one of those too. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Not impressed with the situation in Edmonton right now. Not sure there's an answer. They
it's
got to
too
do
bad.
something. So going back to what Rick had said about changing the name, there's two bits of information that I have on this. Is that Randy Ambrosie said, absolutely not, no fucking way is that franchise ever going back to the Eskimos. Randy Ambrosie's now gone. Now, is that the position of the league, or was that just the idiot commissioner? Second, when the owner purchased the franchise, he had signed it. Part of the agreement was that he couldn't move, change, rename, or anything to the franchise for 1 year. So a lot of people think that he is going to change the name from Elks to Empire or to something else. The smartest thing would be to go back to the Eskimos, but then there will be controversy from the woke. And will the league even allow him to do it? So I believe at this time next year, the Edmonton franchise will not be called the Elks.
I just
That
want them
name
to
is
be
done.
called the evil. I just want them to be called the Evil Empire and get it over with.
We've always called them the Evil Empire.
I know.
You know, back when Tom Wilkinson was playing for them, we called them the Evil Empire. I was just a little lad. Hated them with a passion. Okay.
Anyway,
Final score in this game was 32-14 for BC Lions over the Edmonton Elks. Total of 46 points. Will, you took Edmonton. You were the lone standout in that one. Charles got 32 points. Will got 34 points. CJ got 26. Rick got 18, and Sparky got 24. Why did I get so little? No, why did Rick get so little? Where did you fit? You went 58.
come on,
46.
didn't some of you guys pick BC? Of course you did.
We all picked BC except for you.
Oh, except for me. Okay, good.
You're the one that went with the Elks, and I have no idea why. Okay, so this week, the big winner this week was. Are you ready for this? Rick.
Woohoo!
Rick picked all 3 games correct. So he got 336 points. Next up was CJ with 248, Charles with 246, Will with 240, and Sparky with 236. So we're all within 10 points of each other, except Rick jumped a whole 100. So Charles is in the lead with 2,072 points. Will's right behind him with 2,034. So you're back 40 points, 38 points. CJ is 100 points back behind Will at 1930. And Sparky and Rick are battling it out for the basement at 1894, 1882, respectively. Okay. So on the Let's Talk CFL Pick'em page, I'm supposed to plug this, although I don't know why anybody would start picking it now in week 8. But make Sparky happy. Go sign up, guys. Will, you're in 6th place. Charles is in 7th. CJ is in 10th. Sparky's in 11th. And Rick is in 12 out of 17. I believe it's 17. Could be more. I don't know. That's all he's showing on the page. So we got a good wrap. We're right in the middle, okay? We're kind of like the BC Lions. There's the 3 top teams, the 3 middle teams, and the 3 bottom teams. All of us are in the middle. Okay. So moving on from that, we have, we did the power rankings for this past week. And the group of us, the 5 of us, after Sparky does his averaging on his spreadsheet, I think he kind of cheats on it myself, but Calgary took over 1st place. We all picked Calgary to be the number 1 team, except for Rick. He thinks Winnipeg's still the best. Fucking Homer. Um, and they're up from second place. Winnipeg jumped up from third place to second. Everybody picked, oh no. Charles and Will, for some reason, picked Saskatchewan. CJ picked Winnipeg. Rick got Calgary. So Calgary, Winnipeg flipped, and Sparky had Winnipeg. So there you go there. So Saskatchewan. So next we had 4 teams that were identically tied in points. Absolutely tied. And that was Saskatchewan, BC, Montreal, and Hamilton. So now it was a matter of how do we figure out who goes where when we have a 4-way tie for third. And Sparky's solution was, because Saskatchewan was first overall last week, much to my chagrin, they should be the top of this middle group here. So Saskatchewan went in at third place, although nobody picked Saskatchewan to be that high except Charles and Will, who they picked them for second. CJ had Saskatchewan in 6th. Rick had them in 6th. Sparky had them in 6th place. Okay, so they were way down the ladder for most of us. BC came in 4th. Montreal in 5th. Hamilton in 6th. Now, I can make an argument for any one of these teams to be higher. And it would be a valid argument. So anybody who's out there saying, well, Hamilton should be higher. Yes, they should. And yes, BC should be higher. And yes, Montreal should be higher. Montreal should be in 3rd place, in my opinion. But, and that was, you called that as well, Rick. We both put Montreal in 3rd. But we'll put Montreal in 6th and, in 5th. Charles put Montreal in 6th. And Sparky had Montreal in 5th. So we were very diversified in our picks this week. Okay. And this is the first week that it's been like that. Usually they're very close to unanimous decisions on who's going to be where. And we were on the number 1, which was Calgary. That was the only one that was really undecisive. Going down the list, Toronto was in 9th, Ottawa in 8th, and Edmonton in the basement. Now, everybody put Edmonton in the basement except for Charles. He put Ottawa down there. Actually,
maybe he saw something at the game we didn't.
CJ and Rick had Ottawa in 7th. That was the highest position for them. Ottawa did beat Calgary. Okay. Toronto has not done anything substantial, and Edmonton has done nothing substantial. So I had to say that Ottawa, even though it was a environmental game, it was a torrential downpour, it was cold, it was windy, it was everything ugly, and they beat Calgary in their own stadium, which just doesn't happen. You got to give them a little bit of credit for that.
Where have you been for the last 2 years? Yes, it does.
What?
Calgary's had a horrible home record the last 2 years.
Calgary's had a horrible away record.
Yeah, both. Had a horrible. CJ, they won 5 games last year. How many do you think they won at home? How many do you think they won on the road?
They won all of them at home.
No, they didn't.
I thought they did not win a game away.
Sorry?
I thought they did not win an away game.
Last year, they did not.
That's what I mean. They won all the games at home.
Well, yeah, but they didn't win all the games at home. You say they don't lose at home.
Okay.
But
all their wins were at home.
Their road,
Yes,
their road record was perfect last year.
Yes, it was.
You're challenging me on the English language, William. Not going to happen.
Isn't that a specialty of yours?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on.
All of the wins that Calgary got last year were at home.
Yes, they were. All 5 of them.
All 5 of them. 5 out of 9.
Yeah.
They're actually above 500 at home.
Don't you love stats? Don't you love stats?
Yep. That's right.
Okay.
That is correct.
They were 0 for 9 on the road.
And just think of how great Saskatchewan is this year, because they have Calgary's starting quarterback this year as a backup, so they must be strong.
They got 2 of Calgary's quarterbacks.
That's correct.
2 and 3. Actually, I like Tommy
Interesting, eh?
Stevens, okay? As a short yardage quarterback, I like him. He's
Yeah,
just a
that's
big
nice.
dumb.
You can
Just
hire
fall
any
over
big
and you're
dumb
gonna
fast
get that
guy,
yard.
big dumb fast guy, and you'll get a yard.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
let's
Trey Ford could be a second string, third down back if you want it to. There you go.
need a pen.
Anyways.
I got a pen. Okay, so we have 4 games this week finally. We have Toronto into Montreal. I believe that's correct. Yes, we have Toronto into Montreal. And let's see what's going on here. CFL Pick'em, the panel, CFL.ca's panel, has Montreal straight across the board winning this. Montreal's favored by 8.5 points with an over-under of 50.5. CFL Pick'em has Montreal 90, Toronto 10. Sparky's taking Montreal at 55 points. Charles is taking Montreal at 49 points. Rick, what are you doing? You're taking...
I think Montreal at 58 is what I sent in.
You did. Do you want me to tell you what your scores are supposed to be, or do you just want to announce them like that they're meaningful and you're possessive about them?
Go ahead and announce them.
Okay. Fuck. See, the whole point of why you're supposed to be telling me your scores right now is you need to justify why you're using that score. I think Montreal's a better quarterback. Davis Alexander's coming back. Austin Mack is back. Montreal's a much stronger team with these players. I think they're going to dominate Toronto. Toronto still has Nick Carr. These are things that you're supposed to say.
But isn't that a given when I pick them?
No,
I think they're better.
It's not. That's because here, okay. And if we were just doing this because we're a bunch of idiots playing football, it would be great. But we actually have fans that are watching this podcast, and they want to know why you are picking what you're doing. Okay, so we're supposed to be some form of authority on this subject, and they're supposed to revere our position. Okay, and they can't do that if you don't have one.
I do have a position. Montreal's the better team and they will win. You might have fans. You might have fans, Christopher. I'm certain I do not. And if I did, they'd be Winnipeg people and you wouldn't like them anyway.
There's a lot of Winnipeg fans that I like. There's a lot that I don't like, but there's a bunch of them I do like. Even some of the idiots I like. Like, never mind. Okay, William, Toronto into Montreal. You have to pick a team.
Where are they playing?
Montreal, McGill Stadium.
And Alexander is back, correct?
Yeah, and Austin Mack.
For all the reasons you gave for Rick and Montreal winning, I'm going to go Montreal 50.
I'm just going to type down Toronto just because. Okay, so since I'm the only one that actually gave any reasons why I think Montreal is going to win, I am going to take the Montreal Alouettes because they now have their number 1 quarterback back. They were a dominant force before Davis Alexander pulled his hamstring. They were undefeated before he was injured. All of their losses came at the hands of McLeod Bethel Thompson. So I think Davis Alexander makes this team much better. And I believe that they are going to dominate the Toronto Argonauts with their backup quarterback, Nick Arbuckle, because this is now week 7. We were told that Chad Kelly would be back in the Toronto lineup for week 7, and he has yet to appear for a practice. So There's no anticipation of him coming back anytime soon. And thank God, I really hope he never comes back to the league. I don't like the piece of shit. And let's just be honest, okay? I hope he never steps foot on a CFL field again. I won't get my wish. He will be back. I just don't. I think he's milking this injury as long as he can. He's collecting money and not having to do a goddamn thing. He's sitting at home in Buffalo. Good for him.
Hey,
So,
Rick McDonald, would you agree with that analysis or not?
100%. Very insightful.
Okay.
I am a
Good.
Christopher fan.
I just
You're
learned
Chris-
something from Christopher. He is my hero.
What?
Anyways, you're my hero. I just learned all kinds of things from you, sir.
You know,
You
before
the
Rick
man.
joined,
You
before
the
Rick
man.
joined our show,
You the man. Yes, sir.
before Rick joined our show, he used to watch
Yes.
our podcast and phone you and tell you what an idiot I was. And
Yes,
now
sir.
that he's on the show, he's my fan. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes,
I've
sir.
always
Yes,
been a
we're
fan.
both- We're both your fans.
Yeah.
Christopher, I have one question for you, Christopher.
Go ahead.
Who's
What's your question?
Your daddy, buddy. Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Yeah, who's your dad? So we have all taken
Who's your daddy?
Montreal. Sparky, this is for you. We have all taken Montreal. Charles at 49, Will at 50, Rick at 58, Sparky at 55, and CJ at 54. Okay. The next game
Yep.
up is Calgary into Winnipeg to
Yep.
play the Blue Bombers. Now, these are
Yep.
the two teams that, in my opinion, are the top of the Western Division. Okay. A lot of people will argue and say Saskatchewan's up there. I disagree. I'm not sure Saskatchewan's as high as BC. But these are the two top teams, in my opinion. And according to CFL Pick'em, there's Jamie Nye and Matthew Cause have taken the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The other three have taken the Calgary Stampeders. So it's a split panel. FanDuel betting odds are Winnipeg at 4.5 with an over-under of 49.5. CFL Pick'em has Calgary 34, Winnipeg 66. Although I put no stock in these numbers because that just means there's no more Winnipeg fans that are off in the CFL Pick'em groups, and they've got their own Pick'em groups. I don't even know if there's a Calgary group. Sparky's calculator has Calgary at 49. That's not what it was. His calculator actually said Winnipeg was going to win, but he's changed it.
Really?
Yeah. His calculator came up as a Winnipeg victory, and now so he's changed it because he's a Calgary homer. We got Charles is picking Calgary at 52, and I don't have anything from Rick. Rick, who are you picking and why, and what's the score?
Winnipeg 58 because we got better uniforms. Actually, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, the last Calgary Winnipeg game is the last game I watched in its entirety. I happened to drop in at a buddy's place on the island when I was camping, Winnipeg fan, and we watched it, and Calgary won handily. It was no contest. I don't think Winnipeg played as good as they could. The two pick sixes, I'm not sure what Collares was fucking looking at. Like, I could see not to throw the ball there. So I don't think he does that second time around. He has bad games. Every quarterback does, and that was one of his bad games. So I'm confident we'll be back on top this week.
And what's the score?
58.
Where did William go?
I don't know. I just got a message. Something hit on my watch and then he disappeared. But I think he was posting something else into the chat and obviously clicked the wrong button.
Just had a dog attack my door. It would be nice to have William back.
He'll be back.
I
He
haven't
no
got his
quitter.
score
He
yet.
no quitter, that Willie.
Okay, well, I might as well do my score here because I am going. I don't know who to pick. I think this is a very tough game to pick. I think that both teams are very close. They're both good teams. They both have some good points. I think Vernon Adams at this point in time is a better quarterback. Zach Caleros has really lost his step. He's not quite playing at the high level that we have known him to. Vernon Adams is a anomaly, nominal. Anyhow, if the Calgary Stampeders get off to a quick start and get ahead, they're going to win the game. Vernon Adams will have an amazing game, and it will be great. If Winnipeg gets off to a quick start, it's going to steamroll on him because whenever Vernon Adams is behind, he is unable to. He pushes the ball. He pushes the ball into places it shouldn't go, and he gets picked off. And he gets picked off, and he gets picked off. He gets flustered, and he makes bad, bad decisions. I'm a Vernon Adams fan. I like him, but we have to be honest about his warts. And his warts are he gets flustered and gets behind. And that's just the way that it is. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Hey, oh, Will's got here. Hello, hello. Where did you go? I don't know, Will. Go back up and take the link.
We're still here, dummy.
He challenges me. Love him to bits, but
I shared a room with him till we were almost 20, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. I hope he didn't put his headset down and walk away. If he does, he's going to miss out his scores because he hasn't given me this game in the next two. So we'll see what happens. Nothing I can do right now about William. So we can't put anything in there. CJ, I still haven't decided who I want to pick.
Well, Will's giving you extra time.
He is. He is. It's really a challenge for me. My head says Winnipeg, that I think Winnipeg is a better all-around team. But my heart is saying, you know what? Calgary is fucking on fire this year, with the exception of that Ottawa game.
Yeah,
And
they much improved.
Much improved. And Calgary is on the way up. Winnipeg is on the way down. And they're like crossing right now.
Vernon Adams hasn't really had a bad game this year, so he's due for one because he has those.
BC was 7-1 last year before Vernon Adams had a bad game.
Yep.
And the bad game was Toronto.
Yep. But that's been his career.
You know, it is. When he gets behind, he pushes the ball into places it shouldn't go.
Yeah. So.
And he end up with 6 interceptions when a coach isn't smart enough to pull him out of a game.
I was very sad at the last Calgary Winnipeg game because, like I said, I was watching it with a buddy. We haven't watched a football game together since the Bombers won the Grey Cup in 1984.
Actually, I can't do that.
Can you re-invite Will?
I am. I'm trying to. I am trying to. I'll give him a link directly to his page. Okay, so it's on the Let's Talk page. It's on Will's page. And that's the best I can do right now. Nothing I can do. Okay, so it may be you and me for the rest of the show, and
there you go.
we'll make it happen.
So you need to pick.
Do I? Do I really?
There are no
54
ties in the
points.
CFL.
I'm going with 54 points.
I could have guessed that.
I'm going with Winnipeg. Against my better judgment, I really think it should be Calgary. And the reason why I'm doing that is you're the only one that took Winnipeg. That's not a good sign. Okay. But Will and Sparky are both Calgary fans, so I expect them to take Calgary. Charles took Calgary. And if I'm going to get ahead of the two that are ahead of me, I have to do something a little bit different. And that is a Will McDonald theory.
I think
and sometimes he picks the stupid team, and I'm going to go with Winnipeg just because it's a little hot. I'm going to put.
I would say you've got a 50-50 chance.
I got a 50-50 chance. And you know what? Maybe it's 49-51. I don't know. I'm putting Will down for Calgary at 50 points. Okay. Only because, and that may change Sparky before game time, but I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt at 50 points right here because that's what he picked in the Montreal game. Okay. And so that we can now move on, and I will. So I got to go back over to Sparky here. Okay. The next game up is the Saskatchewan Roughriders into BC to play the Lions. Interesting game this is going to be. Again, two, in my opinion, fairly equal teams. Saskatchewan won the last game fairly handily. Both teams were missing their quarterbacks. Jake Mayer was QBing for Saskatchewan, and Jeremiah Mazzoli was QBing for BC. I believe BC turned the ball over, 4 or 5 times, with Mazzoli throwing two pick sixes. It's going to be a different game with Trevor Harris and Nathan Rourke back behind the wheels of their respective teams. I think BC's a better team. Saskatchewan, I believe, has a better defense. I think BC has a better offense. So very well evenly matched, again, similar to the Calgary-Winnipeg game, in my opinion. BC, Saskatchewan are very well matched in the middle. And that's the way that's going to be, in my opinion. CFL.ca, the Pick'em squad has Pat Steinbeck and Christina Constable took the Riders. The other 3 took the Lions. So it's a split favored to the Lions. FanDuel has Saskatchewan at 1.5 with an over-under of 52. Now, Sparky believes that this is going to be a landslide victory by BC, that you should bet $1,000 on the BC Lions winning when they've got Saskatchewan at 1.5. You'll take home $2,100 if the BC Lions win, or they lose by less than 2. There's no fucking way I would bet money on this game.
No.
I love my BC Lions, but I'm not stupid enough to bet money on them. Okay? It is going to be a tight game. This is not, one team is not going to be a dominant force in here. It on paper, tomorrow or Saturday could be a totally different story. Saskatchewan could dominate. BC could dominate. We don't know. We don't know that's why they play the games. But that being said, CFL Pick'em has Saskatchewan at 48 and BC at 52. Even the fans think the game is going to be close. Or is that just Bomber fans not picking Saskatchewan? Could be.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. Sparky's calculator has Saskatchewan at 51. No, this is the game. Sorry. It wasn't Sparky took Winnipeg and changed it to Calgary. It was the BC game because he says BC is going to dominate it, but Sparky's calculator came up and picked Saskatchewan at 51. So Sparky has taken the Riders at 51 points. And Charles has taken BC at 51 points. I don't know how we can do that, but I disagree with that, but that's okay. And Rick, you are taking, what team do you want to pick here?
I'm picking the Lions, 58.
You're taking BC at 58 points. And why are you picking the Lions, and why are you picking such a high scoring game? Think these are two dominant, explosive offenses that there's going to be a lot of points scored?
Mostly because I think Rourke is the deciding factor between the two teams. I think he's the better quarterback.
Yeah. Well, they'll question he's the better quarterback.
And they're at home.
They're at home. They're in BC Place Stadium. There's no doubt in my mind that Nathan Rourke is the better quarterback, and I think he's the best quarterback in the CFL right now. I don't think he has a supporting team. Saskatchewan as a team is a better team. Okay. I think BC has better receivers. Saskatchewan has definitely got a better defense. So I'm taking the Lions. There's not a hope in hell I'm picking those green bastards. And I'm going with 54 points. I think Nathan Rourke is a better quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback in the CFL right now, and the team has to catch up to him. And when the team catches up to Rourke, they're going to be explosive.
They are a different team when he's on the field, for sure, for sure. I've never denied his potential.
Yeah, I mean, I said way back when, and we're talking 14 years ago, that Zach Collaros is going to be one of the best quarterbacks that the CFL seen in ever. Okay. And he turned out that way. Right. I don't think he's the best ever.
No.
But he's in my top 5. Okay. He's in my top 5.
Who else is in that top 5?
Doug Flutie, Warren Moon, Ricky Ray, Mike Riley.
Interesting.
We got William back.
Yeah, he was having internet issues.
No, I'm not.
You said you
okay?
You guys both disappeared. I don't know what happened.
No, you disappeared. We were still here.
You disappeared. We stayed here. We've been talking all along.
I was still here, but you guys' pictures were gone. Sorry.
Yes.
Whatever.
You're back, and that's good. We have progressed along a little bit, and we need you to catch up. Okay. So I'll give you a really brief synopsis of what's happened. We have the Calgary-Winnipeg game. Everybody picked, not everybody. Charles and Sparky took Calgary. Rick and CJ took Winnipeg.
Okay. William will take Winnipeg. We'll take Calgary.
I put you in at Calgary.
There's no reason why he wouldn't. There's nothing that shows me that Winnipeg is going to win this game. So, other than they played shitty last time, maybe. My nephew Brendan has said because Calgary made up a stupid fucking trophy, and that motivated Calgary. So, whatever. Anyways,
that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
We'll see what's happened. I'm curious to see what's going to happen on Friday night.
Yep.
And I'm going to pick Winnipeg, and I'm going to go.
You're
Calgary.
Picking Calgary. Hang on.
I'm going Calgary 52.
Calgary 52.
And if things don't work,
Charles has got 52.
51.
If things don't work out my way, I've eaten plates of crow before, so I'm ready.
You picked Hamilton in week 1. Okay.
I picked Hamilton more often than anybody.
Let's put it this way.
Yes, and we have no idea why.
Let's put it this way. If Calgary beats Winnipeg this week, and then the week after they beat Montreal, there's going to be a lot of people eating fucking crow, is all I'm going to say.
If Calgary beats Winnipeg this week, I pick Calgary as number 1 in the West at the end of the season.
I'm probably picking Calgary number 1 in the West at the end of the season anyhow, even right now.
No, you're not. You're going to take
BC. Calgary's on the way up. Winnipeg's on the way down. Right now, they're crossing.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
So
but that's my pick.
In the Saskatchewan, BC, okay, catch up here. Saskatchewan, BC. Sparky took Saskatchewan at 51. Charles, Rick, and CJ took BC.
I got to catch up and I got to pass. So I am going to pick Saskatchewan 52.
Okay. Saskatchewan at 52.
And I'm not going to be able to watch that game.
I'm not going to miss that game. The last game is the Hamilton Tiger Cats are traveling uphill and a little bit sideways, and they're going to Ottawa to play the Red Blacks. Hamilton is playing some
You don't need one of those bells for Bears, Will? You just have to be able to outrun Patty. Push her down, squirt her with some honey and run.
I did that in honor of Hamilton. This is Hamilton colors.
Okay, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are a much improved team, mostly because of Kenny Lawler. Bo Levi Mitchell is continuing where he left off last year and playing some great football.
Yep.
And Hamilton has become a dominant force right now, and I have to pick them right behind Montreal or very close to Montreal in the Eastern Division. Ottawa and Toronto aren't even close to these two. Ottawa is playing in this game, so I'm obviously going to pick the Hamilton Tiger Cats here. But CFL Pick'em, CFL.ca Pick'em. The panel has Hamilton straight across the board. FanDuel has Hamilton at 1.5 with an over-under of 54.5. This is the highest scoring game of the week for CFL or for FanDuel. CFL Pick'em has Hamilton at 80, Ottawa at 20. Sparky Calculator has Hamilton at 55. Charles has Hamilton at 46. He's going low. And Rick also has picked Hamilton. And why would you do that, Rick?
Because I like consistency, and I picked Hamilton to start the year. I thought going into the season that they would be 1 or 2 in the East, so I'm going to stick with Hamilton.
It doesn't take much to be 1 or 2 in the East, okay? That's not setting the bar high.
It's still a thing. It's still
You're consistent at that. You're not setting the bar high at all today. A couple of things we were talking about earlier in the day, and you just walked right into them.
Yes, you did.
So you're picking Hamilton, and what's the score going to be?
58.
58.
That's my number.
That's your number. Is that going to be your number all season?
I'm going to have one number and stick with it.
It works for me. I don't have to think.
Man,
it hasn't for me.
every podcast, this Rick McDonald worship of Christopher Jones is getting worse and worse and worse. It's pathetic.
I'm his hero.
Anyways, yes, you are.
Well,
everybody's got to have a hero.
When you look at the other 3 guys on the panel besides me, I mean, obvious choice. I mean, I'm not going to pick I'm not going to idolize my dumbass little brother.
Especially when there's not 3 other guys on the panel.
Well, there is if you count Charles and Sparky.
Yeah, but he's never seen Sparky. Anyways, can I pick Hamilton? Because I got to go because I'm getting in big trouble here. That's all.
You're going to take Hamilton. What's your score?
Hamilton 57.
57. Okay.
Here's my brother.
Okay. We're going to really quickly look at what you put up for an agenda there, William, and we'll see what we can talk about. First off, Sean Lemon has been reinstated in the CFL after he was suspended indefinitely for gambling on a CFL game. I think it was a travesty that he was suspended indefinitely. Give him a game, give him a slap on the wrist, do something, because it did not affect the outcome of a game. I mean, it was a measly $78 bet, and he bet on his own team to win. I think every player in the CFL should be allowed to bet on their team if they want to.
They should have to and always bet to win because that's their job.
Yes. Don't bet points. Don't bet over under. Those are things that you can manipulate. But if you want to bet on your team to win, I don't see a problem. I don't know why there's a problem with that. Anyhow, he's been reinstated, and that's a good thing. Davis Alexander is back behind center for the Alouettes. That's a good thing. Winton McManus is back for Toronto. I don't know if that's makes a big difference. Chad Kelly is still out. We've already talked about Ottawa release. The Red Blacks released former first-round draft pick. Who's his name? Anthony Bennett. I have no idea anything about this.
Tony Bennett.
I hate to be like this. But I gotta go. You guys finish this yourself, please.
No, we're gonna pack it in.
Thanks.
Just, you know what? We're going to pack it in right now. This has been Let's Talk CFL podcast, episode number 613. I've been your host, Christopher Jones. Say goodnight. Watch football. It's going to be a great weekend, and everything's going to be lovely. We're going to have some great football games. There's going to be at least 2 that are going to be close. William, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Watch football this weekend, and go Stamps.
Okay, and Rick, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy the games.
Enough
said. That's it. Short and sweet.